instant messaged me.
Wow. So
I
so they're personal, or were they leads to
personal,
begin with?
personal.
Nice. Good work. You'll have to tell us more how you did that, like what you said.
Okay.
So, did it happen overnight, or had you been kind of building a relationship?
No, it actually happened overnight. I got one Friday and one last night.
Nice.
Hmm.
Good job doing that. How about you, Liz? You said that you went and did something too different this weekend.
Oh, the bingo and passed out brochures. And from there, I had people inquire about more brochures and, product as well. It was nice. I mean, it's really a free for all because you got all those women there in one place and they can't go anywhere for 4 hours.
They're stuck
You know
there.
what I'm saying? They're stuck there. They're playing bingo.
So
So
if they're out of the game, then do they just sit and look through the brochure? Then does it give them something to do?
mm, during there's a remission, like they take a break for about 15, 20 minutes in between.
Awesome.
They can go to the bathroom or get food or whatever. But yeah, everybody, it was neat. I was kind of busy. I wish I would have taken a photo of everybody looking at them while I was there. That would have been pretty cool to see or post, whatever. But I failed to do that.
Well,
My family was there and I haven't seen them in a while, so I didn't get too involved. I didn't want to pay attention to that and not pay attention to the family. But
sure.
yeah,
That sounds like a
yeah.
cool opportunity too. Once you go back a few times, maybe there'd be somebody there that would be interested in selling there on your team.
Mhm. Yep. And then my sister manages a gym in Rochester Hills, Rochester Gym, and she took a case of those brochures with her, and she's giving them out, and then we put samples in the bathroom. So hopefully
Wow.
something comes out of that. Yeah.
Good. All because you got extra books on Avon's behalf, right? They accidentally sent
Yeah.
you extra.
Yes.
Awesome. That was a good use for your sister to take them to her gym. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. She's people are taking them. They're looking at them while they're on the treadmill. She said, and they're taking them with them as they leave. So we'll see how it pans out. I'll do a little spreadsheet of the amount of books she has and how many she gave out versus how many get in contact with her. Let's see how that works.
You're such a blue. You like your statistics. That's good.
That's how it works.
It's all about the numbers.
Yeah, it's about projection.
Yeah, exactly. Projection and result. Okay, so let's get started. Thank you both for sharing. So this topic is
You want me to do
conversational.
these?
Oh, okay,
Want
so
me to do
let's do this. This is exciting. Elizabeth has received 2 Blab scratch-off tickets in her order today. So that's pretty awesome. And she wants to scratch them in front of us. Are you guys
Yep.
pumped? Woo woo.
Okay, I'm doing the first one, so let's see what this is. Oh my goodness.
What?
This is awesome. I am so freaking excited, you guys. Did you see that? A Yeti. It says a
Cooler?
Yeti cooler. Yeah.
Those
A Yeti
are
cooler.
those are
It's
awesome and
pricey too.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yay!
I don't know, is it a little hand cooler or is it the big cooler? I don't know. I'll have to
I
figure
think
that
it's a
out.
big cooler. Is
Yeah,
my
because that's like $500 or something for that thing.
yeah,
Wow.
Good.
perfect to keep your
Okay.
beverages in.
Yeah, one more. I'll bring it to Rep Fest.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I got $100.
Really?
That's
Yep, I got $100.
Oh my gosh!
I got $100. Yep.
That's a good gift. Great job. Pat yourself on the back. What will you
Thank
spend
you.
100?
I'll save it for the Bermuda trip. Yeah, because
Really?
I'm going to that. Yeah,
You got a plan?
save it for extra money for Bermuda.
Ah, that is amazing. Good job, Elizabeth. Anybody else have some tickets on the way? I know some of you do. Kathy does. Margarita. I'm sure Danielle's working on it.
Yeah, I actually just signed someone up this weekend, so we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
guys
I'm
rock
excited.
it. Who'd you sign up, Danielle?
It was actually, if you recall from our conversation last week, it's one of my regular customers who now took the leap to, she joined for essentially for personal use. So, yeah,
She did it.
excited.
She did it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Do you feel like that happened due to part of your recent conversation regarding your belief or not?
Yeah, I think so. And also, I'm glad you sent us the homework early because I looked at it and it just actually played into our conversation because she not only was a regular customer, but she would also pick up from me. And in recent months, her commute has changed, so she would not pass my house anymore. So instead of losing the products, I mentioned, hey, you know, this is another way for you to go ahead and get what you need. And she thought it was a great idea. So she signed up on Friday night.
Congratulations, Danielle.
What's so great about that too is I had a couple of my personals do the same thing, but now they're doing it like Cheryl Harris. She was just didn't do it personally because all the stuff in her house was costing her a fortune. Now she's selling them at work, and she's doing fantastic. Like, it's great to even sell those personal ones that just want it for personal reasons because they have so much fun. Once they start, they have fun.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty much most of my team because that's kind of how I started too. So we kind of followed the same path.
It's really interesting how the why can change so quick. The why, the reason you sign up, and within a few weeks, that reason can change. So very good. And that's why it's important that we look at our team and we offer them more opportunities because their original why may have changed in the last few weeks or few months. So making sure we offer them that leadership piece of it as well could be interested in it. So, well, let's get going. We have this is it's 30 slides, but you know what? We're just going to fly through it and pick out the most important pieces. So, let's see. I'm just going to skip to the next here. So conversational selling, we have a good method that we can stand by to help us remember, the steps to take when we're trying to be the best seller that we can be. So this really relates to the first S in boss for selling, and we're going to talk about the GROW method. The G is to get to know the person and her needs. And it sounds like you did that, right, Danielle, with your newest recruit? You knew that she probably would need a different way to get the product, seeing how she wasn't going by your house anymore. So that was perfect by understanding her needs. R, recommend the right Avon solution, which I guess I'll just use Danielle's situation. So you knew that. What's your new recruit's name? Danielle?
Her name is Victoria.
What is it?
Victoria.
Victoria. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
No.
So Victoria, you knew that was an excellent solution for her to become her own representative because she wouldn't be able to drive by and just grab the stuff off your porch, right? So
exactly.
Perfect. And then you probably offered your relatable story, maybe when you were explaining your belief to her, and you demonstrated your belief. And then W, work to establish the next steps. So what are the next steps? Once she does sign up, what are the next steps in that case? So that is what we're going to be talking about tonight. And this is really an important piece to our business and understanding how to sell. And a lot of the time we think about selling as selling our products, right? But we're really going to try to focus on how to sell the opportunity tonight. So what we're going to look at is really the goal to believe in yourself and to really build your own confidence in building relationships. So right here, I'd love to just kind of talk about how do you feel right now when it comes to selling the opportunity? Are you feeling timid and passive? Or are you feeling overly aggressive? Like maybe you come right out and say, hey, my name's Kate. I sell Avon. Have you ever thought about selling Avon? That's kind of an aggressive way, right? So I wish we had a little hand raiser where I could say, hey, raise your hand if you think you're more timid and passive, or if you're overly aggressive, or if you're right in the middle.
I'm right in the middle.
You're right in the middle, Elizabeth?
Yeah. I take advantage of any opportunity, but not too aggressive. But if I see something or I recognize something, like something that looks similar, like somebody's wearing something that looks like Avon clothing, I'll say, hey, we got something in the magazine just like that. It'll look great on you.
Good.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That's a good way.
Like,
because if you think about it, let's think about who's been to Art Van to go shopping for furniture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so would you consider the salespeople in Art Van timid and passive or overly aggressive or in the middle?
Overly aggressive.
Aggressive.
And does that sometimes deter you from going into that store?
Yes.
Me too. Or I put up a guard like right away, and if they come up to me, I'll be like, I'm just looking. Like, don't talk to me, you know? So, you know, put that into perspective. We never want to be that person that's overly aggressive. Feel free to type in the chat box any thoughts. Forgot we had the chat box for a minute. I see Elizabeth is typing. So that's what we need to figure out. We need to become confident and be able to really be in that middle ground. We don't want to be too timid because then we never get the job done. Or if we do, it can take forever, right? Because we're always afraid to actually close the sale because we're maybe too timid to ask. And then we never want to be that person at Art Van. So how it starts is breaking down the conversation with starting the conversation, digging deeper, clarifying their needs, then communicating a solution, connecting the dots, sharing your belief, always asking, and then establish the next steps. Because even if when we do ask, you know, you just never know what the outcome is. We can't assume they'll say no. We can't assume they'll say yes, but their answer might be, yeah, I'd love to be your customer. Yeah, I'd love to try Avon. Or it might be like, no, I'm not interested. So it's okay to have those kind of answers, right?
Yeah.
So starting the conversation, once you get to talking, you really have to try to dig deeper and figure out their needs. So if you had a chance to look over the homework, that's really what the homework is all about, is really just trying to get some of those questions that you feel comfortable asking. And actually, sometimes you can have the same questions in your pocket all the time that you can reuse, and that will help you get some open answers from them. So we're going to dig a little deeper and talk about chance encounters. So a chance encounter is really an opportunity where you're going to cross paths with somebody, where you know you're going to see people, where you have the chance to start a conversation. And it could be anywhere. It could be at Walmart. It could be when you're getting your nails done. It could be at bingo. It could be online, right? Any other thoughts of where a chance encounter could happen? At the gym, if you're going to the gym, which I recently got a membership. And so I've talked to Avon at the gyms already, and it helped me get a better deal because I think I intimidated the guy, not on purpose, but I got $50 off my price. I said, oh, I do sales too. Oh my gosh. I took his little paper from him and I said, I got a deal for you. I'm so bad. And I said, listen, I have 3 people in mind that want to join the gym, and I know I can get one of them in the door. And he's like, really? And I said, what if I pay you this much for the year? And he's like, okay. So I got a hold of my 3 friends that want to join, and one of them went in yesterday and joined the gym, and she got the same price I did. And I just was like, wow, and so he's like, please put out your brochures. He's like, I know exactly what it takes to be a good salesperson. And he said, you could even put a table up in here. So I might need to talk to some of you that have a representative in this area. I know Kathy has one in Lansing. Maybe we
Yes, I do.
get her set up with a little event table with some Aspira and some brochures and different things like that. So, but chance encounters can happen anywhere. Think about, did anybody have any birthday parties this weekend? I know that a lot of us either have family birthday parties, kid birthday parties.
Okay. Yeah,
Any other ideas of a chance encounter location? Okay. So let's start talking about conversation starters. And the first option is to find a common ground and ask open-ended questions to get her talking. So we have a couple options here that New Avon has put on our training here. So let's look at them real quick. Finding a common ground in the grocery store. Wow, the grocery line is so long. Who's got time for this? How would you rather be spending your time? So some of these open-ended questions can feel or look uncomfortable. So I really think it's situational when you're in that moment. But having a few questions that work for you that are open-ended. Does anybody have a question that's worked for them in the past to just get talking? I have an example if no one else does. On our last class, one of the classmates, she said her favorite type of recruiting is with strangers. And everybody else in the class was like, really? Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. And she goes, you got to look what's in their cart. She's like, if you're standing in line and you see that they have, a bottle of wine in there, you can start talking to them about, hey, is that wine good? And she's like, it just opens the door. And then, I'll just start talking about the type of wine I like. And then I'll say, oh, do you have a party you're going to this weekend or something like that? Is that where you're taking it? And she said, and then another time she talked about, they had, I think it was kids' juice boxes and then popsicles. And she's like, you must be going to a party. And they're like, oh my gosh, no, I have, 3 kids and we're just stocking up for the summer refrigerator out in the garage. And it just opened the door for her to start the conversation. So, and then the second option could be complimenting somebody to help get them talking. And I know many of you have used that. I know Kathy in the past, you've told me you've used that. Margarita, you've complimented people. Has that worked for you in the past to get the conversation going? Margarita or Kathy or anybody?
Yes. Yeah, who doesn't love a compliment? Sorry, I have myself muted, so it takes me a minute.
That's okay. Yeah, who doesn't love a compliment? I know I love when I get a compliment. And it just makes you feel good. And then it makes you want to talk to that person like, oh man, they must be really nice. So it just starts building a relationship when you compliment somebody. And when you do it, it has to be a legit a compliment that you really believe is true. So I'm going to just keep going. Because ultimately what we want to do in asking these open-ended questions is really try to find how we can bridge it over to Avon. So we're going to talk about how to start your open-ended questions. In all conversations, whether they're the people you just meet or people you already know, it's really important that the questions focus on what they need or what they want. So let's look at how you can start an open-ended question. Why, what, how, who, when, and tell me are great ways to make sure the question's open-ended. And here's a big piece. Be interested, not interesting. I mean, have you guys ever met somebody that just loves to talk about themselves and you really can't even get a word in edgewise? So it's so important that I think we all know a few people in our lives like that, or even strangers. So be interested. You want to hear about them. Here's one. How is your job going? That's an awesome open-ended question. I use that one a lot with like the moms that I'm on the PTO with, because let's be honest, I don't know them really well. I'm getting to know them better, but that's a great like icebreaker for me. Hey, how's work going? And then it just starts opening them up to feeling free to talk to me. And then tell me about what you do. And, those two questions can go really well together. How's your job going? Really? So tell me more about what you do, because I don't 100% understand. I'm trying to figure it out. How do you do it? Managing your family and your career. That's a good one. Write some of these down, or, put them in your pocket, memorize them, because they're great questions to have. And if you notice, they're how, both of them are how, and then tell me. And then what do you think is the hardest part of staying home with your kids? Not wanting to kill them. No. That's what I might say. No. So that one starts with a what. If you could change your situation, what would you change? And then why do you like to volunteer at the PTO so much? So it's important that you start to have some of these questions that you know that you can ask, and come up with some of your own that you feel really comfortable with. It's not always easy, and that's why it's good to develop a list that you can use when you're trying to share the Avon opportunity. And always be interested in the conversation that she's sending back. Do your best to listen. Active listening is a big key in any type of conversation, but when you're really trying to be able to share the opportunity of Avon with somebody, you have to active listen, because you want to hear what's going to be your bridge over to Avon. And it becomes more natural. Sometimes we ask them questions so we know how to get to the Avon part. And the more we do it, the easier it gets, right? Practice makes perfect. And by the end of this course, in 13 weeks, we have to be really good at this. It's what's going to make the change in your business. It's going to help you get to that next level you want to get to. That next level, putting more money in your pocket. The better we are at conversational selling, if you can master it, you're going to be hands down a top leader in the company. So digging deeper is really asking with questions and listening with questions. The more questions you have, you can ask, the deeper you can dig and get to know that person better. So listening for what her needs and wants are, and then asking more questions. Why is making new friends important to you? What would more flexibility in your day mean to you? It sounds like you want to make extra money. What would that really mean to your family? As you're talking to them. So, any other follow-up questions that you guys have used in the past or that you can think of? No?
Earning extra money at Christmas. It's a big one.
Extra money at Christmas is a big one.
Yeah.
What would more money mean to you right now this time of year? Would you be able to get
for your kids?
Get your kids what you want? I heard you say that your kids are, draining your pocketbook, which they really do. But us moms and dad, we want to spend our money on our kids. We want them to have the best of everything. So, if somebody that you're talking to does have kids, that to me is a simpler person to talk to, personally. Probably because I have that in common with that person, right?
Yep.
So, digging deep is a huge key to our business, even with our customers. Because what it does is it builds a relationship. The more you dig, the better you get to know them. So we're going to do a startup conversation. This is just kind of like a role play. And what it is, though, is we have all of the words in little bubbles. So I'm just going to have two of you, if you would, just be Sally. One's going to be Sally and one's going to be Sarah. And we're just going to see how Sally, the Avon leader, and Sarah work together. So who wants to be Sally? Anybody? It's really easy. All you have to do is read.
I can.
Okay.
Kathy.
All right, Kathy. Who wants to be Sarah?
I'll be Sarah.
Okay, thank you. So Sally met Sarah at spin class and asked her to have coffee. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of listen to the conversation. So Sally.
Hi, Sarah. Happy Friday. I am so glad we could connect for coffee.
Me too. That spin class is awesome. We have so much fun. It's a great stress relief.
I am with you. I feel great after every class. Did I hear you say that you have 3 kids, one of which is in college? I have only one little guy, and I feel like I can hardly keep my head above water.
Yes, that's right. I also have a crazy dog, and my 2 boys are on a traveling soccer team. I spent my weekends schlepping them all over the place.
What does schlepping mean? Just kidding.
Jewish.
Chauffeuring. Sarah sounds like me.
Oop. Hold on.
What in the world?
Sorry. Oh, wait.
There you go. I don't envy you there. What else causes your stress?
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
Oh gosh, I work from home as a book editor. I spend my days on the computer with very little interaction. I need to connect with humans over the age of 14.
I'm sorry.
I get it. If you could create the life that you dream about, what would that life look like?
I would have less stress. I would have lots of friends to hang with, and I would have plenty of money to help pay for my daughter's college and travel. I love experiencing new places. That's my why.
Okay, so good. What did you guys think of those questions that Sally was asking her potential new friend recruit?
It's a perfect example.
It really was.
Mm-hmm.
What else causes your stress?
Causing her to dream.
Causing her to dream. You know what was interesting too is sometimes if you just look at the question separate, it sounds a little bit awkward, but when you're actually having a dialogue like they are here, it totally makes sense. Okay, good. So now we're going to dig a little bit deeper.
So, Sarah, why do you feel being connected and having friends are important for you now?
Since my divorce, I have felt so isolated. We had to move to a new area, and I have not felt up to finding new friends.
I totally understand. I am divorced, and I felt that same way when I went through it. You mentioned you would love to have more money to help pay for college and travel more. What would it mean to you if you had more money for these things?
Well, first, I would feel relieved that my daughter will not graduate from a college with a ton of debt. That just sounds so much like me. I don't want her to have the level of stress as such as a young age. Also, by having more money to travel, I could fulfill my lifelong dream of visiting Europe.
So I'm going to ask you guys, all of you, how can this information help Sally sell Sarah on the Avon opportunity? Like at this point, how could Sarah or Sally get her, bridge it over? Let's say bridge it over.
Tell her about the commission and how much Avon has done well for her so she can make a better living.
So, Elizabeth, you're saying Sally could share her belief?
Sally can share her belief as well as tell her about the commissions because that's the go-getter when a person is in need. And as long as they can see somebody else working it and doing well, then they move. For
Good.
instance, like my friend, they get paid every other week. Now that she's doing this, on the week that she doesn't get paid, she has money now. You know what I'm saying? Because as that week falls, the campaign week falls in between those weeks. And now she has commission money to help get her through, the rough spot.
Exactly. And so your bridge then you were listening and you heard her talk about the financial piece and how she wants to have money pay for her college, her daughter or her kids' college. You heard her say she wants to travel. So for you, what you heard is the commission will mean something to her, right?
Yeah.
Good. Who heard something different from her? A different way to route it over to bridge it to Avon. Because there's other.
How about our trips that we offer?
Yeah, we have awesome trips that we offer, right?
She likes to travel.
Yeah, and she wants friends. Right? We heard that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Avon's a great way to build new friendships. I'm going to read what Danielle wrote, but I got to be able to pull up chat, and I, for some reason, can't. 1 second, guys.
You want me to read it? I see it.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, you read it.
Danielle said Sally should invite her to a local Avon meeting or to her online group to experience the friendship that comes along with joining.
Yes, the friendship piece. So that's kind of what you heard, it sounds like, Danielle, was that friendship piece. There was so many opportunities to bridge. So the more that Sally dug deeper, the more you heard that, gosh, Avon really would be a good fit for her.
Mm-hmm.
And a great transition line would be, what if I could show, after hearing all this, Sally could say, you know what, the more I'm talking to you, what if I could show you a way that you could have some more friendships and you could meet some really nice people in the area, and that maybe you could eliminate some of that financial stress. So, you can help pay for, well, not graduate from college with a ton of debt, pay for your kids' college and soccer. What if you could, what if I could show you a way is a really great bridging open-ended question. And I think that's one that all of us need to memorize because it's a good transition. I mean, we could all say, really? Well, I work for Avon and we have an awesome commission. And I hear you say that you need this and this and this. Or you could transition it with this key sentence. What if I could show you a way that you could make some extra cash or you could meet some new friends? So I recommend you all write that down and put it in your vocab. For many years, I was out in the field with leaders and representatives recruiting, and a lot of the time all by myself. And I would say that was probably my best bridge that helped me feel comfortable bridging it to Avon. I heard why I needed to bridge it, but what if I could show you a way to do that? It's an amazing bridge. Even if you're doing it online and typing it, oh my gosh, I totally hear what you're saying. What if I could show you a way that you could get everything that you're wanting with the company that I work for? It's absolutely amazing. Okay, anybody want to share anything before we move to the next? Anybody have a good recruiting story or where you were able to dig deeper in the past? Anybody want to get better at it so you can really dig deeper and find their needs?
Absolutely.
Oh, Annette just got in from therapy. Okay. Annette can't be on tonight. So R, let's talk about the R. So we're going to clarify their needs, communicate a solution, and connect the dots. So we're digging deeper. I kind of jumped ahead and we started like finding her needs in there, right? So you clarify their need. And it's the 3 C's. 1, clarify, then communicate the Avon solution, then you connect the dots and how that solution will meet her needs. It sounds like a huge process, but in reality, it all flows together. And once you practice it more often, it just flows together really well. Clarifying first is super important. So something you could say is, I've been hearing you say a lot about wanting to, have that extra money so your kids aren't in debt in college and needing the extra money for driving around to soccer. Sounds like that's a lot. So that's kind of clarifying. Another good thing is, so I hear you say. So I hear you say that you have a ton going on with the kids and you really want to make sure they're debt free when they get out of college. That's considered clarifying. And let her say, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because you want to make sure you really understand what her needs are and what her wants are. Never assume. It's easy for us to assume. It goes back to that aggressive recruiting. You just assume everybody wants to sell. Hey, my name's Kate. I sell Avon. Have you ever thought about selling? That's assuming that they want to sell. You haven't even had a chance to learn their name, So never assume. Possibly identify additional needs and wants. I think if you're asking those open-ended questions and digging deeper, you're really going to be able to identify those additional needs and wants. I mean, if we look at Sarah, she had like 3 or 4 different needs and wants. And so just making sure that you clarify what her needs and wants are. And then she's going to feel heard. She's going to feel like, oh my gosh, this person gets me. She's really nice. She's actually listening. And ultimately, what are you doing? Building a relationship. And after all, Avon is a relationship business. That's all it takes is relationship building. So for communicating the right solution, that's when you just throw in that question, what if I could tell you a way or show you a way that you could, meet those friends you're looking for in the new area that you're in? There's like 5 of us Avon representatives that absolutely love getting together. We talk business, we talk kids, we talk coffee, we work out together. So right here, it's just saying, given your need for friends, I would love to offer and invite you to our next Avon get together, which would really help in maybe meeting some new friends. So if you want to write that down too, given what you told me, your need or your want, I could really recommend a really cool opportunity for you, which will insert your relevant benefits, which will help you earn that extra money for your kids' soccer. And then connecting the dots. How will that solution meet her needs? Because she might go, oh my gosh, really? That would be so nice. I haven't been invited to anything since I moved here. And I could really use a break. And that's her starting to connect the dots, and then you can connect them with her. Any thoughts on that? Okay. Okay, so we're going to need Sally and Sarah back, recommending the right Avon solution. So, Sally?
It sounds like you would love to connect with some new people and make some extra money to help pay for your daughter's college and travel. Is that right?
Yes, I would love to do that.
You should join my team as an Avon representative. You can make new friends and be part of a great group of women. The ladies on my team are fabulous. Everyone supports each other and has a lot of fun. You would love them. As a rep for Avon, you can also earn extra money for your daughter's college and for cool trips and scholarships. Mm-hmm. I added that. Sorry. You can help her avoid stress when she graduates, and you can take that dream trip to Europe. Who doesn't want to have fun with friends and make money at the same time?
Perfect. So Sally really connected all of her dots in that last piece. She talked about joining her group of friends. She talked about earning money for her daughter's college and her trips. And so Sally is the leader I want to be someday. Do you guys feel like you've ever dropped the ball in an opportunity situation? Due to fear, due to not knowing the next thing to say?
Yes. Or being lazy.
Or being lazy. Kathy, you are not the first person that's told me that. So many will say, you know what? Sometimes I just don't feel like it. I just don't feel like talking to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when us as Avon representatives or business owners, the CEO of our own companies, we need to put the stake in the ground and say, hey, do I want my business to flourish? Or, do I just want it to go however it goes? And I think if you're feeling like you want it to flourish, we have to always step out of our comfort zone and be on, and be on it and really, granted, I'm not saying you can't have a day off, right? But we have to put the stake in the ground and say, okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to put that money in my pocket and I'm going to help other people do it. And so the more we step out of our comfort zone and do it, the easier it gets. It almost becomes like second nature. And I know Kathy would agree with that and I think Margarita would too. And I'm only bringing those two up because they have been with Avon for quite some time and been in leadership. I think that you guys have the skills and that you know how to do it. Definitely. I think you all do. Okay, O and grow, offering relatable stories that demonstrate your belief. This should be an easy one. This is on our homework. You have to come up with a relatable story on your homework regarding, I think her name's Mary. It's like a little example. Is it Mary? Soccer mom. Forget her. I don't see her name in here. Well, anyway, making sure you share your story and making it relatable. Do you all feel pretty comfortable with your story that you've come up with for yourself?
Yes.
It sounds like you do. Look at Margarita got 2 recruits this weekend. Danielle got a recruit by sharing her story. I know that Elizabeth went to bingo hall and probably worked on sharing her story, hopefully. And Kathy, you have a new recruit too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
See? All right.
Yeah, a friend tagged me on a post on Facebook, and then the lady was looking for a rep to buy, and I shared with her, and now she's selling.
Awesome. Gotta love social media. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
But the most important story is yours. So, share it with pride and make it all about you for 30 seconds to a minute, because we still want them to be the most interesting people that we're talking to, right? But your story is so important because what it does is it connects that person that maybe doesn't know you with you. And it makes them relatable to you because they go, oh, so Kathy's a real person. She's got a story. She's not this big CEO person that is intimidating. She's got her own story, and it relates to me. So, that's all on that. Avon has worked for me and my team members. I think it can work for you too. So here's some relatable pieces of that. I totally understand how you feel when you say you need to connect with new friends. When my son went to kindergarten, I was totally lost. My whole life had revolved around him and his needs, and I had very few friends. So when Sarah was willing to share that she wanted to connect with new friends, and Sally was able to share back with her, yeah, totally get that. I remember when my son, so who feels like they're able to relate stories back? What about
Me?
me? You remind me a lot of Suzanne. Suzanne is my sister-in-law. She pulled me aside a few years ago and was interested in learning more about Avon. Okay, so she just related to Sarah by just saying, hey, you remind me of, my sister-in-law. People love to be part of a story. They love to feel that connection. And that's what being relatable is. So it's important in any sales business that we are relatable people. And it's something that I think comes natural to a lot of people. And I also think people can learn how if it's not a natural thing. So we are all in good shape there. Okay, let's get to the W. After you share your belief and become relatable with that person, it's time to always ask and then establish the next steps. So now it's time for you to confidently ask her to join your team, right? So once you go through the GR and O, you need to go for it. And there's all different types of ways that you can ask her. Here's a few that Avon has put out here for us. I heard that you say you needed this, this, and this, and Avon has so many great opportunities in all of those areas. It worked for my sister, and she is doing amazing, and you two remind me so much of each other. Why don't you get started today? This could be your lucky day. Or honestly, I would love to have you join my team. How can we make it happen? What additional information do you need to get started? What additional information, if any, can I provide to help you determine if the Avon opportunity is right for you? So I'm the kind of recruiter, and I think we're all different. And the more you recruit, the more you get to know yourself. I probably wouldn't ask the two bottom questions right away because what happens when you ask some questions like that? Not that they're bad questions. What could happen if you ask somebody, and this is my own belief window, so it's probably not a good way to think. But if I was to say to somebody, instead of saying, hey, why don't we get started today? This would be so perfect. I'd rather say that because to me that's a quick, okay, she can join right now. I'm not giving her a chance to ask me questions. Because for me, I feel like that can put up roadblocks. Now it's okay to have them have some questions for you, but I never try to close my recruiting or my sale with that person by seeing if they want more information.
I totally get that. I can get that later.
Yeah, I'm a get that kind of later kind of person. I think it all depends on our personality type. Some people love statistics. Some people, that's how their brain works. They love all the details. They want those before they even think to join. So it's up to you on how you do that. But for me, I don't want to put up any roadblocks. I don't want them to go, well, tell me how exactly you make the commission. How much do I have to sell? Now, trust me, I would explain it. If they asked me those questions, I would be the first to be like, okay, I'll show you. It's so awesome. Here it is. But I don't ever want to do that. I don't want to get detailed. So everybody can do it different, but you always ask her to join your team.
Join it now.
Join now. You can't ask any questions. You've got to go right here on my computer right now. I think I like to have that sense of urgency. Let's just get it done. Let's do it. The first step. How about you guys? Do you guys feel like you're one way or the other on trying to close the sale? Do you feel like you beat around the bush when you're trying to close the sale? Let's share.
I think I think I asked them if they want additional information. Too much. I need to
just
tell them the basics and get them signed up.
I think it depends on the person, Sorry, my dog was barking. I mean, for me, because I'm not a detailed person necessarily, I don't want to hear about it. It's just too much information for me. So I don't want them to ask it from me. So I think if you're a detailed person, you might want to give them all that information before you want to make sure that they know before they make the decision. How about you, Margarita? How do you normally close the sale out?
I usually just say, I'm building this empire. Let's do it together. Let's build this empire together. And I just kind of whatever's in that moment, whatever. I don't really have a script. It's basically, what I'm feeling at that moment, how I've connected with them. I said, I don't really have a script. I don't. But I always use that as far as, let's build this empire together, because I feel like a boss says go and, a leader says, let's go. So that means you're doing it together. And that's why I always say together, because I'm going to be there to help them. So let's do this together. And
Good.
That's all I do.
Good. So, do you encourage them to join right away? Like, do you want
I
to
do.
get going? Like, okay, let's do it together. Join my empire, our
Yes.
empire, and you
Yes.
get them going. Good.
Right. I'm like you though. I leave. I don't all that additional information. I don't get into that right then and there because if you give them too much information or you start asking those kind of questions, then they're kind of just like pushing back. Like, okay, wait a minute.
I got to think about
What
this. Oh,
additional information? Right. You're going too fast here. So just tell them the basics. Talk to them. Get to know their whys, what they want out of life, and you just go with it.
yes. Good.
That is what has helped me all these years.
Good. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else want to share? Oh my gosh, you guys, it's 8 o'clock. Holy cannoli. Be prepared for every outcome. I think in life in general, we're all prepared for, the yes. If they say, yes, I want to do it, be prepared. Make sure you either have your computer right there so they can sign up and you can walk them through it. Make sure you have your link ready for them if it's all online. If you're with them in person, have a couple mini kits in your bag, which is like 5 brochures, some order sheets, the daily care flyer. Have those things put together. Be prepared if you get a yes. So you can say, hey, let's get you started right now. You have your account number. Here's 5 brochures that you can use until you get your kit in the mail. Be prepared. Be prepared. If you hear a maybe, further grow that relationship with them, demonstrate your belief in the company. Make sure if you hear that maybe, make sure you have their name and phone number. So if they're like maybe, you can do a follow-up plan like, hey, I will call you, I'll call you tomorrow or text you tomorrow night. Give you some time. In the meantime, let me know if you have any questions. Here's my number. I'll need yours. And don't ever walk away from a maybe without their information, right? Because if they don't join Avon, at least they could be your customer. If you hear obstacles, just keep asking them questions. Dig a little deeper and try to understand them. And never get offended by their questions. And then if you hear no, then maybe say, hey, did any of this sound like it'd be a fit for anybody you know? Or maybe try to throw out some other cool things we do. We really fight for breast cancer. We have our fundraising. So maybe give them another opportunity to participate in Avon. Identifying the next steps after she responds, make sure that you guys figure out what the next step is. Are you guys going to meet when she gets her kit in the mail? Okay, great. You signed up. Your kit's going to come in 3 to 5 business days. Let's meet back here. Or can you do a go-to meeting with me? Because I would love to see what you get in your kit. And I want to go through the little booklet in there with you. Have the next steps ready. Maybe you know that you're going to have a meeting coming up that next week in 5 days. Make sure you invite her and say, great, I'm so glad you joined. Come to our next meeting. This is when it is. We can sit by each other. But set that time expectation. Be accommodating to her schedule. Capture her contact information and make sure she understands the next steps. Identifying the next steps. If you feel like she's kind of mulling it over, why don't you sleep on it? Think about any potential concerns or questions, and we can connect again in a couple days. How do you prefer to be contacted? You want me to text you? You want me to catch you at gym in 2 days? We're going to be at spin class. I prefer text or phone. Fantastic. Let me add you now. Don't lose the conversation by her saying maybe or if she needs time. Make sure to grab her info. Make sure you follow up with her. There's nothing like somebody saying they're going to follow up with you and they don't, or just dropping the ball after all that hard work, getting to know her and digging deeper, right? Good. So glad. Talk to you soon. Okay. The fortunes and the follow-up. We have been taught this when I started Avon 8 years ago. This was one of the key things I was taught in training. Avoid the following missteps when performing follow-up. So important that we follow up. If we say we're going to call in a couple days, call in a couple days. Don't say, I missed it, and then you end up calling her a week later. That doesn't look good, right? So a follow-up fail would be not following up at all, right? That'd definitely be a fail. Connecting through Twitter when she requested you to email or Facebook her. She's probably not checking her Twitter, so she probably never got it. Not offering up anything of value. Not adjusting your plan of attack. And an infinity of follow-up. Cut your losses. Okay, so what that means is if you follow up like 27 times and she never gets back with you, just say, all right, enough's enough. And I would say, after you've tried to contact her 6 times, 6 to 8, give it a break and maybe put her on your calendar for 3 months later. Okay? Sometimes people are going through stuff and sometimes they move or sometimes they change their phone numbers. I know anything could happen, but don't 100% give up, but don't just keep beating a dead horse. Put them on your calendar for a later follow-up because maybe 3 months later they'll be at a different place in their life. So Avon, they're giving us a follow-up plan. You have your initial engagement on Monday. So 2 days later, on a Wednesday, you follow up with them. And then 4 days later, on a Friday, you follow up with them again. And then 8 days later, the next Tuesday, you follow up again. And so on and so forth, up to six tries. Does that make sense? Yes. Thanks, Elizabeth, for your feedback. Okay. Grow your business like a boss. Being a beauty boss means recognizing success when it happens. So the telltale signs that you're rocking it and that you're doing a good job is that it will feel natural and less salesy, and you're going to feel more sincere, and it's just going to be so much more comfortable. Your prospect will start to see you're at ease when you're talking and it's comfortable for you. If you see them kind of leaning in or nodding in agreement and really like listening, you can tell that they're listening with their eyes, then you're doing good. You're rocking it. You're doing a good job with talking and recruiting. If you see them kind of like looking other places, checking their watch, their phone, pretty sure that it's not a good time for them. So don't keep trying to push it. And don't forget, it's okay to fake it until you make it. We can use that a lot in any type of situation. Fake it until you make it when it comes to work, life in general. So your application guide, you all have that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I emailed it last Thursday night. If you don't have it, just let me know. I can re-email it. So this is a really good guide that just really goes through step by step on the G, R, O, and the W. And it helps you think of some questions, helps you kind of put yourself into different scenarios. And we do actually go over it in our one-on-one calls. And I've had some people have some aha moments during this session when we're going through our homework together. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. And then our hot topic question, which we won't go over until our collaboration call, which is next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday. Who is the most interesting person you know and why? Last time we talked about our heroes. This time we want to talk about the most interesting person you know. That's different from hero. There's some real interesting characters out there, so that's kind of a fun one to talk about. So make sure that you're growing your business. And this is a really good way to build your recruiting skills, is really focusing on the grow method. If you can memorize one thing, memorize how to do this. And the more you do it, the more you practice, the better you get, until it's just part of who you are. So I know all of you are working hard at it, and I know you all do a really good job. You're all building your teams right now. I'm just so proud. Oh my gosh, you're really above my other classes. Just saying, in the recruiting area, you guys are bringing a lot more recruits in than my first class ever did, or even my second. And that's not to say anything negative about those classes, but
Hey, I was in that first class.
I know you were.
I'm just kidding.
There wasn't a lot of recruiting going on then, though. Not on your. I'm not saying you in general, but
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing.
but I'm seeing it a lot more, and pat yourselves on the back. You guys are making some strides, and so be proud out loud. Okay, any questions before we jump off? I'm so sorry we went over. I can't believe it. I talked too much tonight. Did you guys get some good info? Do you feel like...
I kind of had a aha moment.
You did?
Here. I did.
Okay.
Hold on. When you get Alma leads, you kind of think, sometimes I think, they went online or whatever, they're already interested, ready to join. But maybe they're not, is what I'm thinking. And so I need to use this grow method more with my Alma leads, not just in prospecting.
I love that. So, because you don't...
I think I give just more information on how it works with my Alma leads. Because, I don't know, I just kind of, I've assumed they're ready to join, per se. You know what I mean? So
what would you do differently going forward then?
Get to know the person, what made them interested in finding out more about Avon, and what their needs are, and
good,
and relate Avon to their needs, as opposed to just saying,
"You ready to join?"
Well, this is how it works. I usually go, you sell the products to people, you share the opportunity, you earn 40%, blah blah blah. But getting to know why they want to join Avon.
So all that,
or why they were interested in finding out more.
Yes, love it. That's a good aha moment, Kathy. Awesome. I think all the stuff.
Is this the same material you had the first time?
It is.
Huh, I didn't get that the first time.
I think I understand it better now too. Like going through it, and I think I think we can learn something. Something new from things we've already seen. Sometimes your ears are hearing something different.
I do not remember this picture, but did everybody notice? I noticed this on this thing. You can do a screenshot of her slides. Did you notice above there where it says the webcams and so forth? You can do a screenshot, and it'll save the picture to your computer.
That is awesome.
So I did that. I did a screenshot, and I took a picture with my phone because I'm going to grow my business.
Whoop, whoop. Okay. Thank you so much, Kathy. That's an awesome aha moment. And thank you all for being here tonight. And I did record this. I'll send out the recording. It takes a while to upload, but I'll have it out by tomorrow afternoon probably. Okay?
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, everyone. And I look forward to our one-on-ones. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.